Masking is a great technique you can use to paint super straight lines all over your larger models. It works really well for painting things like hazard stripes, company markings and heraldry onto your models. Now we're going to show you what we're talking about by painting these squad markings onto the side of this Lehman Russ battle tank. We're going to be using normal masking tape, the kind you can buy in your hardware or stationery stores, and we've already cut some pieces of tape out ready to go. Now we've cut our tape here using a Citadel knife and a cutting mat, but of course you could use a pair of scissors if you'd like to. If you are using a knife and you're a younger hobbyist, make sure you're asking an adult to help you out with this. Now the first thing we're going to do is to make our tape a little less sticky, and the reason for that is, if we just stick our tape straight onto the model and then pull it off, it's likely to pull lots of the paint off with it, and you don't want that to happen. So we're going to stick our tape down to our cutting mat like so, and then just pull it up a few times, sticking it down again, pulling it up a few times again, just to make that tape a little less tacky. Then, on the Lehman Russ, we're going to take our tape and we're going to stick it onto the model like so. Now we're going to use the panel lines on the Lehman Russ as a natural guide and make sure that tape is stuck down nice and firm, especially on the edge we're going to be painting over, like so. With the tape stuck down, it's time to start applying the squad markings. We're going to be going for a base coat of Rakarth flesh, followed by a dry brush of pallid witch flesh. Now it's important that throughout this process you don't move the tape away from the model, because of course you don't want to go over those lines. Now we'll be starting with a base coat of Rakarth flesh, using our medium base brush here. We're going to put a bit onto our palette like so, add a little bit of water to help it go much smoother onto the model. A bit more water, there we go. And then taking our Lehman Russ like this, we're just going to apply it onto the model like so, making sure we cover the whole exposed area. Now whenever your brush would hit the tape, make sure you're brushing away from the tape. That means you won't get any accidental paint going underneath the tape. The next stage is to dry brush the exposed area with pallid witch flesh. The pale area is complete. It's now time to start adding red stripes either side, here and here, to complete our squad markings. And to do that, we've already cut ourselves an additional piece of masking tape. This masking tape is thinner than the previous pieces we've used, and we cut it down using a knife and a ruler. The first thing we're going to do is just pull it up a few times to make sure it's lost its stickiness, make sure it's not that tacky, and then onto the Lehman Russ miniature itself, we're just going to add it right in the centre like so, making sure it's parallel with the previous piece of masking tape. Now I'm just going to make sure it's completely stuck down on both sides of the masking tape here, because we don't want any paint to escape underneath it. The second piece of tape stuck down, it's time to start applying the red stripes to our squad markings. We're going to be using corn red as a base coat, followed by mephiston red as a dry brush. So first of all, we're going to take our corn red onto our medium base brush here, add a bit onto our palette like so. Water it down a little bit, but not too much here. We don't want it going too much under the tape. And then on the Lehman Russ, we're just going to apply the red on the exposed areas like so. Now make sure when you're painting over the tape, once again, you're painting away from the tape like this and like this. With the corn red applied, it's time to add a dry brush of mephiston red, this time using a small dry brush. So there we go, the mephiston red dry brush is complete, and the last thing to do is to carefully peel the tape away, revealing the effect underneath. And there we go, that is the squad markings on our Lehman Russ complete, and that's looking pretty cool. Alright, that's the masking technique. The big important thing to remember is to always stick your tape down and then pull it up again from your cutting mat before you apply it to your model. That way you won't pull any paint off at the end when you come to remove the tape. Hope that one's really helped out. Happy painting.